What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I was sitting at home and I was like, you know what, I haven't been on YouTube in freaking forever. So I was like, I'm gonna do a video for you guys. So I'm looking so busted right now because we just had two hurricanes back to back. We had Hurricane Laura and Hurricane Delta. I live in Louisiana, so it was really bad for us. So I'm looking a freaking mess and I kind of want to cry about it, but Thanksgiving coming up and your girl gonna be looking good for Thanksgiving. And y'all, I'm about to get back on YouTube full time. I'm about to be dropping videos. I'm about to be doing all of that for you guys. I just bought me a new ring light. Like, do y'all like it? Because I'm actually sitting in the dark right now. I'm sitting in the dark. So yeah, y'all, so it's a lot of videos that I have in store for you guys, but I first wanted to start off to tell you guys how I had to put my friend and her two kids out because you just wasn't respecting my home. Like, baby girl, you wasn't respecting my home. So I know that probably sounds like really bad and cold-hearted, but I promise you, like, I was being a real true friend to her and you was not respecting my property. Like, she broke things in my home. She said things about me behind my back. Like, she done all of these things to just tell me, like, she don't care. So since you don't care, there's the door. Because no one's about to come to my home and disrespect me, period. I don't care if we had 10 years of friendship. By the way, she wasn't even my friend for that long. She was like my friend for like 2 months. And I let her and her whole family come live with me. What? So that was probably a mistake on my behalf, but you live and you learn. So I'm gonna give you guys a little backstory before I just jump into the story, because I feel like if I just jump into it, it won't make complete sense. So I'm gonna, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. My eyes was like itching. Like, I wasn't about to try to scratch it. I was really about to try to do this whole video and keep blinking my eye, but no, y'all. Okay, y'all, I'm so sorry. So I'm back, y'all. Okay, so I'm about to give y'all a little backstory about like how all of this came about. So originally she wasn't really my friend. My boyfriend and her boyfriend, we're gonna call her boyfriend Ronald. Is that his real name? No, but it's very similar. But we're gonna call him Ronald. And my boyfriend, his real name is Van. I can say his real name because he's gonna be on my channel very soon, so y'all can meet him. But anyways, my boyfriend Van and her boyfriend Ronald, they were friends growing up. My boyfriend was born and raised in a little town called Franklin. He doesn't live there anymore. He lives in my town. That's where I met him a year and a half or so ago, and we got together, whatever. But where they're from, it's very small. There's not a lot of jobs, not a lot of opportunities out there. So that's why he came out here, because there's more jobs out here. There's more money. I feel like you cannot come out here and get a job. Like, it's so many freaking, like, just tell them you want to work, period. Like, walk in there, hey, I want to work. Okay, where's your ID? Boom, job. Like, seriously, that's how some jobs really work out here. So every time we would go to their hometown, he would go, like, you know, go see them every once in a while. Not every time, but I did meet them. And like, all that I saw that they did was smoke and play the game, which I'm not down in nobody that do that. But they also had two kids. Hold on, because I feel like this story about to be long, so get y'all popcorn. But they had two kids, and I have a child of my own, and the only thing that I can think of my mind is to hustle and get this money for my kid. Even if I didn't have a kid, I'm still gonna be a hustler because I want to, you know. So ew. So after knowing her, meeting her for about 2 months, she hits me up. No, we started following each other on Instagram first. And she'll text me like, hey, what you doing? Like, stuff like that. And I would, like, you know, engage with her because I'm thinking, you know, maybe she wants to be my friend because our boyfriends are friends, or, you know. So I'm like, oh girl, nothing. What you doing? And she basically told me that she wanted to talk to me about getting on top because I'm on top, period. Not really though, but if anyone doesn't know me, I do have a treats page on Instagram. I just started like yesterday, so I'm gonna leave that down below so y'all follow that. But I've been doing treats for about a year or two now, selling treats out of my home. I do have a pretty good clientele, so she basically wanted to talk to me about clientele, and I'm thinking she's trying to talk to me about clientele for her down there. And I was telling her like, how to get clientele, how to pull attention, how to advertise, how to sponsor your stuff, like how to really do it. And then she comes out of nowhere and she asks to live with me. Not only her, she asked to live with me with her boyfriend, and her 2 kids. That's a family of 4. That's 4 people. When I already have a family of my own, it's me, my boyfriend, my daughter. And we have a 2-bedroom apartment. Like, where y'all gonna sleep? Where y'all gonna sleep? So I kind of asked her like, what was the motive behind it? Like, like what are your plans? Because I wasn't gonna just 100% like turn her down because I felt like, maybe she needs some help right now, and maybe I'm her ticket to her help. So if she really needs my help, then I'm just gonna see what's her motive, what's her plan. Like, does she have a plan? So basically, she told me she wanted to come down here, live with me, get her a job, because down there she had a job, but down there they still pay minimum wage. So she, at her job she was working, she made $7.25, and they wouldn't even give her 40 hours. So her money was kind of low. So she wants to come down here because I think the lowest paying job out here is maybe like $9. But I get paid pretty good at my job. So, and I was telling her like, we're hiring, we need people, and they'll hire you as long as you want to work. If you want to work, they will hire you. If you don't call in constantly, like if you want the job, they're gonna hire you. So my only issue was her boyfriend doesn't believe in working. Her boyfriend doesn't believe in working. Her boyfriend didn't want to work. All he would do is smoke and play the game. Last time he had a job, I do believe they said it was like 2016, 2017. Yeah, that was me checking the calendar. It's about to be 2021. Like, what you doing? What you doing? Not to mention, like I said, he has 2 kids. And he has not had a job since those kids were born. So, and I'm the type of person, like, if you want to be a stay-at-home dad, be a stay-at-home dad. But you got to give it all the way. Just like these stay-at-home moms, when you get home from work, they food cook, house clean. Like, if you want to be a stay-at-home dad, you got to do it all the way. And he wouldn't even do that. Not to mention, they lives with his mother in her front room. So it's kind of like as soon as you walk in the house, you're walking into their whole room because they lived in the living room. So I could kind of understand how that would probably be uncomfortable for her because that was his boyfriend, that was his mother's house. And I know I would be kind of uncomfortable. Like, if anyone wants to come visit, they have to pass through their whole like living space to get anywhere because they were in the front room. So I was like, what's your motive? What's your plan? She wanted to come live with me, get a job, this, and this. And I was like, you know what? That's fine with me. But in order for you both to come, you both have to have jobs because I'm not letting any man live in my home with no job. That's just that on that. If you don't want to have a job, that's cool. Maybe she can come by herself, stack her money, and get her bread. Then when she move out, then you can go live with her. But you're not going to be in my home not working, and I'm on my way to work and I'm watching you still sleeping on my sofa when I'm leaving out for work in the morning. That ain't gonna happen. So she told me that they will both come and they will both get jobs, and I was like, okay, that's fine, that's cool. So she tried to move in like immediately. And I told her they have to have like interviews, job applications. Like, you have to have something already in progress, already in start in order to just move into my house. Like, do some job applications, search around, look around. Like, you have to get things in motion. So she had a job interview So she had a job interview, and then the day of her job interview, the next day was her birthday. Okay. So, like I said, we live in 2 different cities. I live in Lake Charles, and they live in Franklin. That is about a 2-hour difference. They did not have a car. So, me and my boyfriend, we drove 2 hours to go pick her up and 2 hours the way back for her interview. And she went to her interview, and she ended up spending the night. She spent the night, and then the next day was her birthday, and she was like, let's all go out to eat, this, and this. So we had to drive 2 hours back to Franklin to pick up her boyfriend. Where she wanted to go was an hour away, so we had to drive an hour away to go where she wanted to go. And then once we were done doing what we were doing, we had to drive an hour again to drop them back off. And then we had to drive 2 hours back home. And she found out in the same day that she didn't get the job. That's originally why we brought her back home. But basically, like, you see all that driving we did all that driving. No gas money was offered to us, and no gas money was asked of them. But I just feel like it's the gesture. Like, you could at least ask, like, you know, I only got $5, you want $5? Like, it's anything. But at the time, I was like, you know, it's whatever. But it was a pattern. So about 3-4 days later, she had another job interview at my job, and I knew for a fact they were gonna hire her because I had already put in a word for her. We really needed people, so I knew for a fact that was a job. So 3-4 days later, she had another job interview. We drove 2 hours again to pick her up, 2 hours back to our home. Not to mention, like, every time she has to go to work and stuff, I'm her ride because they don't have a car. Every time she gets off, I have to pick her up. Like, it's a lot of really, like, back and forth. Like, I'm her damn chauffeur or something. Like, and she didn't give us any gas money. We didn't ask any gas money of her. All the back and forth to Franklin back, all the days that she has to go to work. Oh, and then something else that kind of bothered me. She wanted to go to the grocery store, like, every fucking day. Like, every day she wants to go to the grocery store or go get something to eat, which that's fine with me. But I'm like, dang, like, bro, I really feel like her chauffeur. Like, every time she wants to go somewhere, I was her ride, I was her transportation, and I always had to bring her. And that, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but dang, like, when we go to the store, get all your shit in one day. Stop making me go to the store every day. But when she first came, I was like, whatever, like, it's not a big deal. So when she was here, it was a few things that I would catch her doing that I personally did not agree with. For instance, like I said, I make strawberries. To this day, it still kind of bothers me. So one day I was at work and she was off. She texted me and she was like, hey, I burnt your chocolate. I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, oh, I wanted to make me some covered strawberries and I used some of your chocolate, but I burned it. So I'm like, so not only did you use my stuff without my permission, and not only did you use my stuff, that's how I make my money. So you used my stuff that I used to make my money. You used it without my permission. Not only did you use it, it was going to waste because you burnt it. But I tried to act like I wasn't mad about it. And I was like, oh, girl, it's cool. Like, it's not a big deal. But I was like, mad as hell. On the inside, like, you really just touched my stuff without permission? And then you burnt it? And I gotta go to the trash and I gotta go to waste. Are you gonna refund it? And she didn't refund it. Go figures. But at the time, I was really trying to, like, help her. So I didn't think too much about it. So one day, what's another thing she did? One day I saw her going through my phone. So we were driving. We were driving and my phone kept going off like this. So I was like, hey, can you check my phone for me? Because I was driving. I was like, hey, can you check my phone for me? And she was like, okay, cool. What's the password? And I told her the password. And because I wanted to see, like, who was texting me like that. So she, you know, told me my text messages, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, now that she knew my password, I one day caught her going through my phone because I was making an order for someone. And when she was outside, I left my phone inside and I was bringing her order to her. When I came back in, she was going through my phone. I was like, what you doing? And she was like, oh, I thought you had some orders that had popped up. I was gonna check it for you. And I'm like, no, I don't need you to check anything. Like, I will check it. Like, I didn't like that. Like, you went through my phone without my permission. Don't do that. I caught her going through my purse one time. She said she was looking for a mask, because anybody know that 2020 is basically fucking coronavirus season. So one day when we were on our way to work, every day before work, I have to drop my daughter to my mom's house. And one day when I was dropping my daughter off to my mom, I came back in the car and she was kind of like just putting my purse back down on the floor. So I was like, what you was doing? And she was like, oh, I was looking for a mask. And I'm just like, so you went through my stuff? But still, I'm trying to keep it cool, still trying to help her. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I try not to make it a big deal. So her boyfriend kept asking my boyfriend to come pick him up. And my boyfriend was like, you know, do you have a job interview or, you know, something like that? And he was like, no, but I want to see my girlfriend. And he was like, I understand that, but, you know, even my boyfriend was like, I'm not about to have another grown man just, you know, like playing video games on my sofa all day. You know, like, you got to get a job for yourself. And so he was like, all right, bet. And I tried to come to Brittany as a woman, and I was trying to explain to her, like, why we didn't want him in our home with no job, no money, because when it's time to pay rent, I feel like it would be unfair for you to have to pay for you and his part when he isn't working. Like, I feel like that would be unfair. So she must have told him what we were saying, and he took that as we were bashing him. So he got on social media and he was calling us dumb. He was calling us stupid. He was saying we done for working 9 to 5s and all that. And I'm just like, huh? So I told my boyfriend then, I was like, I feel like we should just drop her back off, because obviously they're biting the hand that's helping them. And I feel like you don't really care. Like, Then I feel like you were just using me. So he was like, no, maybe. So basically they ended up just talking it out, and I was so over that. Like, fuck no, you called us dumb on social media, but even though he deleted it in like 2 or 3 hours, I don't care. You let me know how you feel about us, all because we just want you to get a job before coming in our home. So when we finally did go get him, oh, not to mention his girlfriend, we're gonna call her Asian, by the way, because she was Asian. So Asian did all of Ronald's applications, all of them. He didn't do one application for himself. So when he finally did get one job interview, my boyfriend drove 2 hours to go get him, 2 hours back. And when we drove to pick him up, we also had to bring the kids. So we picked him and the 2 kids up, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. So this part really just irks me. So he goes to his job interview, and the people told him that they were gonna call him. They called him, and he turned the job down. So that made me feel like you just wanted us to pick you up, thinking that you had a job interview, and have us thinking you finna go to work, and literally when they offer you the job, you turn it down. So I went to his girlfriend as a woman and as a mother, because I'm trying to tell her, like, I honestly feel like if he doesn't care enough to get a job and help you pay for these bills, help you, because when you get on your own, I was trying to tell her, like, this is not Franklin. Like, you live somewhere else now. It's high living out here. Like, it costs to live out here. And, you know, it's not small out here. If you don't have the money to pay your rent, they're going to put you out. Because sometimes out there, if you didn't have the money, they will still let you stay as long as you pay it. Like, they'll give you like a month and 2 months and stuff. I'm like, no, out here, if you don't have the money, they're going to put you out. They don't care if you don't have kids. Like, they're not going to care if you have kids. They're not going to care about none of that. And I was trying to come to her as a mother and tell her, like, if he doesn't care to help you pay these bills, help you pay for food, help you pay for diapers, help you pay for wipes, I just feel like you need to like woman up as a mother. As a mother, you, like, if he ain't gonna do nothing, baby, what he even doing? Laying pipe and that's it? Like, no, go get a job. Like, so I went to her and I was like, hey girl, like, why did he turn the job down? And she was like, oh, he didn't want to do that. What you mean he didn't want to do that? It's a job. It's a job. Just work. Like, just work. Just go to work. But she was like, oh no, he didn't want to do that job, so I can't force him to do something that he doesn't want to do. And I'm just like, so you don't want help paying your bills? So for some reason, my boyfriend didn't bring him back home, probably because he was just tired of the back and forth of driving. But he was like, I'm gonna do some more job applications, I swear, y'all. I'm gonna, you know, get a job and this and this. And I was like, okay, cool. So one day on my off day, I noticed he plugged up his video game to my TV in my front room. That kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I'm like, you don't got no job and you had the nerve to plug up your PlayStation to my TV. And y'all, I was in my room on my off day and I'm literally listening to him screaming at my TV, like, while playing his game. And I'm like, yo, that's mad disrespectful. Not to mention, his kids are bad. His kids are bad. His kids are uncontrollably, his kids do not listen to them. Like, they don't really do anything though but call their name. Like, I'm not gonna say their names. Let's just say that one of the kids' names was Chair. I don't know. Like, he'll do something and then she'll be like, Chair, stop. Chair, stop. And if he doesn't stop, like, she'll just ignore it after a while. And I'm just like, these are your kids. Like, get them under control, because you're in someone else's home. Like, one day, me and my boyfriend, we were cleaning up our room and he was jumping on our bed as we were trying to clean our room. And I was like, hey, Asian, like, girl, like, he's jumping on my bed and I'm trying to clean it. And, you know, so she was like, Ronald, Chair's jumping on their bed. And he was like, all right, playing the game. He's like, all right. He never moved. She never moved. And I'm like, I don't want to tell her kid anything, but I'm like, dang, like, I need him off my bed. Like, that's mad, like, yo, that's mad disrespectful. And they used to do stuff like that all the time. So 2 weeks went by and he ain't got no job. So I'm walking in my front room, and I noticed a rip on my sofa. I'm like, yo, is that a rip on my sofa? And they was like, oh yeah, that been there. And I'm like, nah, sis, that ain't been there. Nah, sis, we don't even sit in the front room. Like, no, that didn't come from us. And she was like, oh, okay. She didn't offer to fix it. She didn't even, like, have any intentions that she cared. And I'm gonna share a picture of my sofa because I'm not lying. Look at this. Y'all see that? That's a missing blind. We didn't see that until after the day that we put them out. And there was actually some tape. They had tried to tape it back together. Because one day I tried to open my blinds and that part fell off and I noticed tape on it. So instead of telling me that it was broken and telling me that it was an accident, you just tried to tape it back together like I wouldn't see. So, oh, and one day she was cooking and she put too much grease. She put too much grease in my pot, and it literally started a whole fire. It started a whole fire on my stove. I'm gonna include the video because I do have the video. But yes, it started a whole fire and it was grease all in my eyes. Like, you know when you turn the little fan on, like the little vent, she burnt the whole vent off. I'm gonna include all of the pictures. Or the pictures that I can find, or the pictures that I still have. One day her son's playing in my daughter's room. In her closet, it was already, like, her closet door was already kind of like shaky, and I don't know how he managed, but the whole freaking door just fell and it put a gouge in my daughter's wall. Like a gouge in my daughter's wall. Another thing that kind of bothered me is we have 2 bathrooms. And so it's kind of like when they came, I just gave them that whole bathroom. We didn't use that bathroom. And she gonna come to me one day and she was like, you out of tissue. So I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, do you think you can buy some more tissue? But I'm like, you're working and you and your family are the only ones that use the bathroom. Like, why you can't go buy the tissue? But I bought the tissue. Um, she used to wash her clothes with my washing detergent, my bleach. Like, she didn't want to buy anything of her own. And I'm like, you're washing for 4 kids, like, and using all of my wash detergent and bleach and everything. And I know it's probably not like a big deal to y'all, but it's a big deal to me because I feel like if you want to be an independent woman, you have to learn how to do things for yourself, buy things for yourself. Like I know what it is to really be a boss, and I just know, like, if I moved in with someone off the strength of they're trying to help me, I'm gonna do everything I can to stay out of the way. I'm gonna do everything I can to provide for myself. Like, I'm not gonna be all in the way and stuff. Like, her kids were running around acting crazy, screaming loud, and they would do nothing about it. I have a hole in my sofa, a broken blind, a hole in my daughter's wall, a burnt down damn near stove. Oh, not to mention, they say they didn't do it, but I know I ain't do it. So like, we have like a little thing where you could like pour food or something down your sink, and you can turn on like the little button, and it chops up the food and swallows it and everything for you. Yeah, that's broken. So it's kind of like a lot of stuff was just happening here and there. And it's like every time I would go to them about it and tell them what's happening, it's kind of like nobody cared to fix it. Nobody even cared to apologize. It's not even that I really want them to fix it because I didn't want their money, but it's like show some type of sorrow that you're sorry and that, you know, it will never happen again. That was an honest mistake. But they'll just be like, oh, okay. What you mean? Oh, okay. So that really has started to like really bother me because it's like, do you just not care? Oh, not to mention, I have a glass table. I have a glass coffee table in my front room, and her kid would take like his hard toys and like bang them on my table, and they wouldn't do anything. And I used to be like sitting on edge, and I mean, I used to just be like, bro, I swear if my table breaks, I swear if my table breaks. Like, I used to just always say that to myself. So after about 3 weeks, he still doesn't have a job. At that point, he has stopped doing applications. He's playing the video game every day. She had kind of like cut back on her hours. Like, when she first started, she was telling him, you know, she can work anytime. But it's kind of like once he moved in, she didn't really want to work. And I'm just like, bro, like, they're never going to be able to move out. And y'all not just about to be out here living off me. So me and my boyfriend, we had a conversation with each other because at the end of the day, this is our home. And I feel like my home was slowly falling apart. And so I had to just make a grown-up decision. It's not that I wanted to put them out. It's not that I didn't want to help them. But I do feel like it's only so much that I can personally do. And I'm not going to do everything for you. And if I feel like I am doing more for you than you're doing for you, to me, that's an issue. So me and my boyfriend, we had a very serious conversation. Oh, and not to mention, every time she would get paid, okay, so her first paycheck, she had got some money. She spent the whole check. And it wasn't on our rent. Because she had kind of moved in like in the middle of the, month. So we didn't make her pay anything. Me and my boyfriend just paid it. But she spent the whole check on food and weed. And I'm just like, how do you ever plan to move out? Because literally every time she would get paid, she would spend it. Every time she would get paid, she would spend it. And I'm just like, how do you plan on ever moving out if you're just going to keep spending check after check after check? Like, how long do y'all really plan on being here? Because you're not even saving any money. And once he came down here, like, she used to buy like $50 worth of weed at one time. And I'm like, stop supplying his needs. If he wants it, he needs to go get him a job, because you're never going to be able to save up to move out if you keep just spending all of your money. So another thing that rubs me the wrong way when she was here is she was a very bad liar. She would lie to me and tell me she can't pay for something because she only has this amount to her name. Because one day I did tell her, like, can I have $10 for gas? Because I have now been driving you around for a month on places that I don't need to go. So can I have $10 for gas? And she was like, oh, that's my last $10. I'm like, how? You working? Stop spending all your damn money. So I'm like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Then I seen her buy Plan B. Plan Bs are at least $50, $60. So not only did you have sex in my home, you bought a Plan B after you couldn't give me $10 for gas. And I don't know if she realized it, but I'm her ride everywhere. So every time we go somewhere, you spend money, I see exactly how much you're spending. So you can't help me pay bills because you don't have the money, but you're buying Plan Bs, you're buying food, takeout every single day. She went got a new piercing, she went got her hair done. Like, she was getting all this stuff, but she couldn't help me pay bills. You can't help me pay bills, and your boyfriend doesn't have a job. So at this point, me and my boyfriend, we're just supplying all of y'all needs for 4 people, and y'all not even like trying to help. So that was just like, that was a no for me. So me and my boyfriend, we had a conversation, and we felt like it was best to just drop them back home. Y'all hear that? I'm gonna have to speed this video up because I think they're working on my roof. Anyway, so me and my boyfriend, we had a very conversation about it, and we didn't want to put them out, but at that point, it's what we had to do because, you know, of circumstances and, you know, their effort to want to be adults. So one day I texted her. I was laying in my bed, and I texted her and I said, when my boyfriend gets home, he's gonna be bringing you and your family back to Franklin. Yo, she totally flipped on me. Like, she was going bananas. She was like, what do you mean? Like, and I had to come out of my room because I heard her talking shit. And her boyfriend was talking stuff. She was talking stuff. And I'm just like, girl, this is my house at the end of the day. So she went ballistic. So we ended up not bringing them. My boyfriend's brother came over here, and his girlfriend took them to a hotel because she was kind of like, just drop us to a hotel and, you know, whatever. But I'm thinking in my mind, I thought y'all didn't have no money. Y'all ain't had no money to help us pay rent, but y'all about to go live in a hotel. So she was still coming to work and everything. The manager was picking her up for work. Don't forget, we work at the same place. And it was like little rumors that I put her out. I put her and her kids in the street and all this other stuff. Then she had the nerve to tell somebody I had her sleeping on the floor. I'm just like, damn, sis, like, what you wanted me to do? You wanted me to go buy you a bed? Like, I provided you with a shelter. And it's kind of like everything that I did for her, she literally like totally flipped the script. She was like, yeah, she had me sleeping on the floor. Like, dang, what you wanted me to do? Go buy you a bed? All these paychecks that you're spending, you could have went and bought you and your family an air mattress, because I'm already paying the bills and I'm not about to provide everything that you need. So the whole time that you're buying food and you're getting piercings and you're getting your hair done, you should have been buying an air mattress. Because did you expect me to provide that for you? I already provided you with the roof. So, oh, then she lied to me about having food stamps. So one day I had forgot my food stamp card, and I asked her to use hers, and she's gonna tell me, oh, I don't have no food stamps on my card. So she watched me spend cash, and then like 5 days later, I watched her slide her food stamp card. Like, did you think I would forget that you told me you didn't have nothing? And when I asked her about it, she was like, oh, I just got my stamps. And I'm just like, bro, you liar. Because I knew when she got her stamps, because she told me. Like, it's like she would say all kinds of stuff and then think that I forget when she ends up doing something else. Like, just like, oh, I only got this much to my name, and then I'm watching you buy all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, like, at this point, this cannot happen anymore. So that's the story about how I had to put her and her kids and her boyfriend out of my apartment. Now they are basically back to where they started. They're back to living with his mom, because at first they was living in a hotel, but you know that can't last forever. So they ended up going right back to their hometown, back in the mom's living room. And I can't do everything for you. I tried to help you and you didn't want that. So now, sis, sorry. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. Can y'all hear this on my roof? I really hope not. But that was the story time about how I had to put them out. I hope you guys like this video. If y'all would like more videos and more story times, because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your daddy, tell your grandma, because y'all, I need some subscribers. I need that money. I need to quit my job. But no, yeah. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.